Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? Good evening. Good evening. I hope everybody's well. Everything's coming online here. I'm starting to see everything from you guys. Getting the comments up. Got some viewers over here going. It's clicking up. Tick, tick, tick. How's everybody doing on September the 9th? I can't believe it's September the 9th. This year has just flown by. It's been a crazy one. It's flown by. Let's see here. Who all we got with us this evening? Stephen, hello. Damon White, hello. Mike, hello. Sid, hello. How's it going? Guys, if y'all don't care when you get on, don't forget, drop me a comment. Say hello. Let me know where you're from. I like knowing where everybody's from. So like to know how far we're reaching and just like to say hello to everybody. So James Saunders, hello. Josh Sanders, hello from Chattanooga. Crickwater, how's it going? Good evening. Joseph from Macon, hello. Josh, hello. Ashley called me earlier, and I didn't have very good service where I was at. It was my fault, Ashley. I'm sorry. I lost you. I'll get back in touch with you. I actually just made it home, so I got home literally about 12 minutes ago. Jumped on for you guys. So late night tonight. William, hello from Chicago. William says, Matt, we made some of your crappie nuggets recipe tonight. They were fantastic. Looking forward to tonight. Good deal. I'm glad you got to make some. They're very good. My kids have been eating them for years, and my kids love them. So they're very, very good. If you guys don't know what he's talking about the crappie nugget recipe, I have a video on my YouTube channel that I go through how I make the crappie nuggets, kind of explain why they turned into nuggets over the years with my kids who would only eat a chicken nugget. So they turned into crappie nuggets, and they ate them like crazy, and they loved them. They've eaten them ever since. So good recipe, guys. Check it out. You can check out the video, and I'll go through how I do everything. So check that video out. Good evening, Ronnie Harris, Carrollton, Georgia. Asleep. What's up? What's going on, Chris? Terry Gear. Hello. Eddie Gregg, hello. Jimmy Pratt, hello, sir. Jackson, Mississippi's where Sid's from. 903, what's going on? Seth Green, howdy, howdy. Mike Rogers, hello. Kansas City, Missouri. Clint from Oklahoma, hello. David Bender, hello. Hello, David. Hope you're doing well. Todd Pell, Beaver Creek, Ohio. Mountain Topper, hello. All right, guys. So let's see. Fishing last week. Fished Sunday and absolutely wore the fish out. It was a great day. I did not take a camera with me. I went Sunday with my fishing partner, my tournament partner, and we just went and fun fished. I needed a day of fun fishing, just where I didn't have to worry about talking or being, communicating, I guess, with the camera. I just needed a day of going fun fishing. So we went fun fishing Sunday, caught a ton of fish, some really good fish. The fishing is getting better daily in East Tennessee. So the waters are dropping, the water temps are dropping a little bit. The fish are getting a lot more energetic. They're moving around a lot more. They're starting to stage up. They feel the fall cool down coming, and they're starting to kind of move in that direction and stage and get ready for fall. It's really, really going to get good here in the next probably 2 weeks. I'd say 2 weeks. It's going to be rocking. So it's really good. Loving the 60-degree nights. Crickwater Crappie Company, mid 60-degree nights here. Just absolutely loving the nights and really loving the time on the water too. It's a blessing to be out there, and it's a blessing to catch so many fish. So it's a lot of fun. Had a really good day. Caught most of my fish, and I know you guys are probably going to be like, "Well, don't tell us that because we can't get it." Caught most of my fish on that color right there. That's the chartreuse and pumpkin chartreuse stump bug, which unfortunately is discontinued from Bonehead. You can see I have a whole thing full of them here. I don't know how many packs is in there, but there's a lot of them. I bought everything that they had when I found that color and knew it was discontinued. I bought them all. And no, I'm not handing them out. I'm not giving them out. They're not for sale. $387 a pack, a bait. And anyway, caught most of them on that. That seemed to be the best color. Brush anywhere from, really, I mean, we caught them anywhere from 12 feet down to 25 feet. So, I mean, they're just, fish are all over the lake. They're getting more energetic. They're starting to move around. We did see a thermocline in some areas, and we actually caught fish right on the thermocline. It was about 12 to 15 feet. Well, no, I take that back. It started at 15. Fish were 12 to 15, right above it, down to it. So, but good day, a lot of fun, and just had a good time on the water. It was an afternoon trip. Caught probably 60 or 70 fish in 3 hours, 4 hours. So it was a lot of fun. I want to talk a little bit. Well, let me tell you guys what we're going to do tonight first. So we're going to go through some more live scope photos, down imaging photos, side imaging photos. I'm going to explain what I see in each photo. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about what kind of structure we're looking at, what kind of fish we're looking at, go through a lot of different things on side imaging, down imaging, and live scope. You guys really enjoyed that last time we did that, and I want to do it again. So, okay, I saw some comments about the feed. Is everybody's feed okay? I hope it is. Anyway, we're going to go through some of those, but I want to talk a little bit first about something that is near and dear to me. Everybody knows. What's up, Blake Hawk? So everybody knows I am president of East Tennessee Crappie Club. I started the club personally myself 7 years ago. And we fish a tournament a month. We do not just fish tournaments. We also have seminars. We did not this year, but that was because everything that was going on in 2020. But we generally have seminars during the off season. We do training days for our members on the water, off the water. We do. We've got some great sponsors. We give away a ton of free stuff, and we do fish a tournament once a month, September through April. So with that being said, the club is near and dear to me, and I'm just curious why maybe some of you guys or girls don't fish tournaments. So I've met a lot of really good people through the club, and I've met a lot of really good people that just aren't interested in being in a club or fishing a tournament. And I'm just kind of curious why. What is it? I guess what are the reasons that you wouldn't go fish a tournament? Is it experience? Is it not knowing people? Is it just the unknown of fishing a tournament? Have you had bad experiences with bass tournaments? I used to be a bass fisherman. A lot of you guys know that. I used to bass fish some, and I pretty much got over it. the atmosphere in the bass world is tough. It's not very forthcoming. It's not very open. There's just not a whole lot of camaraderie, I guess. I mean, there is between some, but as a whole, it's not very opening. So anyway, I'm just curious. What is it that keeps you at home, or what is it that says, hey, I don't want to go do that? And it may just be you're not, you don't want the competitiveness doesn't excite you in any way, and that's fine. But I'm just curious from my personal knowledge, I guess. I guess I need a little knowledge from you guys tonight. What may keep you at home? What may keep you not coming? So anyway, if you guys want to comment a little bit on that, I'd appreciate it. My East Tennessee guys, what keeps you guys at home? I mean, I know because we fished Chickamauga all the way to Cherokee, so I know if you're in East Tennessee, we're coming near you somewhere, whether it be Watts Bar, Tellico, Loudon, Chickamauga, Cherokee, Douglas, Melton Hill. We fish them all, so I know we're coming close to you. What keeps you guys at home? Let's see. I'm going to scan through some comments real quick this evening. Real quick, I'll just scan through some of these and see. If I missed a question, please repost it. I'm sorry if I missed a question, but I'm down here in the feed. And if you guys have some questions tonight, please put them in there. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions. Yeah, some of you guys have messaged Bonehead and told them they need to bring it back. And so Bonehead has told me the pumpkin and chartreuse, they just said it wasn't a very good seller nationwide, and therefore they aren't bringing it back. But I don't know. Maybe if they get enough phone calls and enough emails, they'll bring it back. I have no idea. Or maybe I can get them to run a special run for me, and I'll just buy them all and then sell them to you guys. I don't know. We'll figure something out. If I get them to run it, I'm going to get them to run it. Blake Hawk said, I don't like to get beat. Hey, I don't like to get beat either, but you can't win if you're not in the race. So Josh Sanders says, I joined this year but have not fished a tournament ever before. I think for me, it's intimidating not knowing the lakes and being frustrated trying to find fish on new water. Josh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's probably the number one reason that I hear from people when I talk to people. But let me assure you of something, okay? When I started the club, I fished I'd been on Tellico and Chickamauga. That's it. I'd never fished any other lake for crappie. Okay. I started the club. We had a meeting, had 30 people there. They all joined the club the night I had the first meeting, and all these different lakes came into conversation. And then we extended the schedule and went here and went there, did this, did that. And it was like, for me, it was like, oh crap, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I remember, I'll use Cherokee, for example. I'd never been on Cherokee bass fishing or crop. I'd never fished Cherokee, period. I didn't even know what the lake looked like. First tournament, I called a guy, I picked up the phone, called one of the members. I said, hey man, look, I've never been on that lake. I'm not asking you to tell me anything special. Can you just give me an idea of an area I need to go to? And he's like, sure, go to Poor Valley and Longline Troll. I was like, oh, okay, that sounds easy enough. I went there and caught 7 fish, weighed in 7 fish. I didn't win the tournament, but I caught fish. So, and there's a ton of that. that goes on in the club. I had a guy that called me with that exact same comment, Josh, and said, I'm not coming to Douglas. I've never been there. I said, if you come to Douglas, I'll tell you where to fish. He said, really? I said, yep. I told him where to go, told him what jigs to use, told him how to troll, told him exactly what to do, what color and everything. And he said, okay. He ended up beating me. And I came back in. I was like, how'd you do? He's like, man, I caught a bunch of fish and good ones. And I was like, oh, crap. Dang it. So, but there's a whole lot of that goes on. You have to get involved. You have to get involved. Not only that, but at the end of every tournament, the guys that finish in the top of the tournament tell you how they caught their fish. They'll say, hey, we fished main lake docks, 15 to 25 feet, fished with a black and chartreuse stump bug. That's all we did all day. And we fished from Kingston City Park to the dam and back. Well, you really couldn't fish that whole area in a day. Kingston City Park to Blue Springs and back. You know, they're going to tell you how every single tournament they caught their fish. And Josh, it doesn't take long for you to pick up what's going on and start reiterating or just, you know, being able to go out there yourself and catch those fish just like they're telling you they're catching them. It's really cool. I've seen a lot of guys that have joined the club that are in your same situation. They've never been on some of these other bodies of water and never been on you know, never been able to really go find fish quickly, that have turned into very accomplished crappie anglers through the club, through getting out of their comfort zone, stepping out of that box, and being able to produce a good day on the water when maybe they couldn't have previously. It's absolutely incredible. I wish I had some of them standing here behind me and they could tell you guys that, but you know, you got to get involved. Again, you can't win if you're not in the race. You can't learn and continue to grow if you're not taking yourself out of your comfort zone. That's the biggest thing for me is I want to get outside of my box. I want to get outside of my comfort zone. If somebody comes to me and says, hey, I had a guy last year told me, he said, I caught fish on a spoon. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, I'm throwing this spoon on Loudon. I'm catching the crap out of fish. And I'm like, nah, I've never thrown a spoon. I don't know about that. And I thought, wait a minute. I need to get out of my box. So I went and bought the spoons that he bought or had. I went and bought 3 or 4 of them. I went to Loudon, and lo and behold, it took me a little while to learn it, but I caught fish on a spoon. So it was like, hey, that was cool. Now I can go catch fish on a spoon. I catch fish on a spoon all the time, especially during the summer. So it's getting outside of your comfort zone and out of your box that's going to make you a better angler, guys. Okay. You've got to stretch yourself. You've got to get out of your box. And that's all I'm going to say about it. So Chad, same thing. Chad says, if I was able to fish with someone more knowledgeable, tournaments would be a lot more enticing. Guys, again, you're never going to have the knowledge if you don't go get it. If you don't go out there and force yourself to learn, to get the knowledge, you're never going to get it. Nothing substitutes time on the water. Nothing. Us having this conversation every Wednesday night is going to help. But if you don't ever go to the water and you don't ever put the practices that we talk about on Wednesday nights into action, none of it's going to help. Time on the water is what is going to make you guys better anglers. Promise you. I will come back in a minute to some of these comments. William says, almost like work, not fun then. You know, some of the tournaments can be, especially the ones that are a long way away, they get a little daunting at times because you're driving and sometimes staying. But, you know, if you've got a good group like we do, I generally hook up with some of the guys in our groups, and we always, I don't know about this year, but we always stay, you know, at people's houses kind of a lot of times. And I'll go stay at someone's house and we'll grill out and sit around a fire. And, you know, so it takes a lot of the work out of it when you've got good people to be around. Mike says, I like crappie tournaments, just don't know enough. Again, I challenge you guys, get outside your box, stretch yourself. Try one. Just try one. One. Just one. And generally, as far as our club, as far as East Tennessee Crappie Club is concerned, if we can get you to try one, you're hooked. Because we have a laid back atmosphere. There's so many great people in the club. Everybody's standing around at the ramp talking and conversating and saying, we caught him this way. We did this. We did that. We're going here. We're going there. Everybody's so open, so inviting, and so uplifting. Generally, if you try once, you're hooked. It's just a lot of fun with a lot of great people, and you learn, and it's time on the water. And at the end of the day, I can look at Scott Bunch if he's on here and I can say, I got you today, buddy. I got you. Or he's looking at me going, where you at? I'm like, I don't know. I stayed at home. I guess I fell asleep in the boat. I don't know. So, it's a lot of fun at the end of the day, but it is daunting. I understand that. It is daunting at times, but you got to stretch yourself, guys. You got to. I see a lot of different comments. Time to practice, not being able to catch consistent numbers. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Matt Scotch. I'd feel bad taking y'all's money. That's pretty good, Matt. All right. Yeah. Well, we got a tournament on Teleco on September the 19th. All right. Dustin Shepard, he says, hey, Matt, when does the fundraiser auction end? Dustin, the fundraiser auction ends the 13th. The 13th is when the fundraiser auction ends. So thank you for bringing that up, Dustin. If you guys have not seen the fundraiser, okay, so Wired for Crappie and Crappie Cove have gotten together and donated. Wired for Crappie donated a fishing trip, okay, a crappie trip to Imes. Crappie Cove donated 2 rods, 2 reels, and bonehead baits for the 2 anglers that get the trip to go on the trip with me, and we'll decide what lake we want to go on when you win it, because you'll contact me and we'll set everything up, dates, times, lake, all that good stuff. So if you have not seen the fundraiser, again, it's for Imes Nature Center. Imes Nature Center, not only are they not funded by the city, they're funded only by fundraising and donations. There's no city taxes or anything that go to Imes. They have the nature trails, the nature walks, dog trails. They've got the Imes at the Imes Nature Center. They've got like a petting zoo and an animal park for the kids. A lot of stuff that they do for the community. And every bit of the money that we raise for the trip is going to Imes. Okay, guys. So that it'll end on the 13th. If you have not seen the auction, Wired for Crappie on Facebook, there's a link there. My personal page, Matt Zenas, there's a link there. You can click on that. And then there's also a link on my Instagram, Wired for Crappie. Okay. So you guys can go to any of those platforms, find that link, put your it's a silent auction. You can place your bids, and that will close on the 13th. Okay. Thank you, Dustin. I appreciate you for asking. Slab Buster's late, but he's here. Hey, Slab Buster. What's going on, buddy? Oh, and let me go back and say, if you bid on the fundraiser and you win that, then the trip itself is a tax write-off for you. It's a charity. So it's a great way to get a good crappie trip, take a lot of crappie home, have a good meal, several good meals, and write off on your taxes, guys. So there you go. Mike, what is the most important thing to do locating fish on new water? So, very good question. First of all, you got to ask yourself, what time of year is it? Is it spring? Is it summer? Is it winter? Is it fall? Uh, Fall and winter, new water. I'm going to start probably with visible structure. And when I say visible structure, I'm talking laydowns, docks, things of that nature, things that I can look on like Google Maps and locate. And then I can look at my Navionics and I can identify which ones have decent water under them. So I can look at a row of docks and I can look at that and say, okay, that's only 5 feet, 5 feet, 5 feet. Oh, that one's 12 feet. I'm going to look at that one. 5 feet, 5 feet, 5 feet. That one's 15 feet. Oh, I'm going to look at that one. I'm going to look at that dock. So I start there. And then typically, Mike, if you're looking at docks and you're looking at enough docks, typically you're going to find isolated structure, offshore structure. As you're idling from dock to dock, you'll just run across structure. That's kind of how I start on a lake. And then from there, let's say it's summer and I'm looking for deeper stuff. Then I'm going to look for my creek channels. I'm going to identify where my creek channels are. I'm going to start at the mouth of the creek, and I'm just going to kind of work my way back in, following the creek channel, looking for structure. You just have to kind of line the time of year up with where you're looking at. Okay, what depth of water you're looking in. That's how I approach new water. I hope that helps. JT's All Outdoors. Hello, sir. It's going well. How are you? Tress Beasley says 4 kids and all the assorted activities keeps me from fishing tourneys. Yeah, I know. I have 2 kids myself, and a lot of times it's tough. It's very tough. Again, I'm blessed with a beautiful, loving, caring, forgiving being exclamation point wife who understands, my passion and understands where I'm coming from and what I'm trying to do. And she sees all the other guys that are so happy doing it. And it's just, she gets it. So but yes, with kids, it is tough. There's no doubt. All right. So, I'm just skimming some of these comments. Heidi, hello. All right, so now let's get to some live scope, not footage, live scope photos and some down imaging, side imaging photos. Andrew's got a question. What do you use to make brush piles, and how do you pick a location for summer, fall, etc.? Man, Andrew, I don't know if you were reading my mind or if I should just send you a medal, because actually my video that's coming out tomorrow, okay, guys, I will give you guys, actually, I'll show you a photo of the thumbnail because I have the thumbnail here. So I will show you a thumbnail for the video coming out tomorrow. Since you guys are here, you guys can be the first to see it. Wired for crappie. Not your average brush dropping video. How to place them, where to put them, why to drop them. So Andrew, to answer your question, watch the video tomorrow because I'm going to go through how I made them. Okay. What locations I choose, why I choose the locations I choose. I'm going to show you navionics. I'm going to show you contour lines. I'm going to show you exactly why and where I put brush piles. Not where I put these, but where I would put them if I were looking at certain lakes. And I'm going to show you or tell you how I made them. And then I'm going to let you guys watch me drop a few. So the video tomorrow will be a good one. So don't miss it, Andrew. It drops tomorrow. I want to say it's dropping at 7 o'clock, I think. So that'll upload and drop at 7 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. All right. Did y'all like my little crappie that was in the brush piles? Did anybody catch that? I thought that was pretty slick. I was pretty excited about that. Anyway, I don't know. Those brush piles were on the front of the boat. I thought it was pretty slick. I'm just saying. I thought it was pretty cool. I am not a tech guy, but I can manage my way around. All right. So let's look at a few photos and let's talk about them. So let me share my screen with you guys. Whoops. Share. All right, let me find my photos. All right, now remember, guys, when I am in share mode, I can't see your comments, okay? So if you ask something and I don't answer it right away, I'll come back in between photos and kind of look at your comments. I need to get my other computer in here when I do this and have it running, but sorry, I don't have it. So just keep in mind, I can't see your comments, okay? Let me read some just real quick. All right. Uh-oh. What happened? There we go. All right. I hope you guys can see that. I might be able to take me off here. Let me take me off here. There we go. All right. So we're going to start with a live scope image, okay? In this brush pile, we are going to actually draw on this. So I need me some colors. Let's use yellow. And let's shrink that up a little bit so it's not so fat. All right. So this is a brush pile, okay? It's in about 26 feet of water, 27 feet, okay? Again, your transducer, for those that don't have live scope, your transducer is actually right here, okay? So that's your transducer, all right? So you actually can see a little bit behind the transducer, okay? If you see something back here, that's actually behind the transducer. So if this is the front of your boat or your live scope pole, it's actually under your boat where you're seeing that fish or brush or whatever. So straight down here is right below your transducer. Okay. Now this is forward view. So you've got brush that starts right underneath your transducer, and that brush comes all the way out here to about 18 feet. Okay. So that is your area. That is the area that you want to fish if you're going to catch these fish. Now, what is fish? Well, everybody can see this right here is a fish. Okay. Right. But this entire brush pile right here is consumed in fish. See how thick this brush pile looks? That brush pile is not thick. It's consumed in fish. There's a fish there. There's some fish here. There's fish there. This is all fish right here. These are all fish right here. This is all fish. This is all fish. That's all fish right in here, okay? So there's, I don't know what, 100 crappie on that brush pile. Plus you got fish over here. You got fish here. All those, see how this dot is bright, real bright right here? That's an individual fish. It's a fish right here. So that's the benefit of live scope. There's fish. These are all fish. Okay. 27.4 feet of water, 27 feet. You want to fish from 0 feet to 18 feet. All right. So that's pretty self-explanatory for live scope. Now, what I would do is I would actually pitch my bait out here. Okay. I'd pitch my bait out here and I'd let it fall. And when it fell, I'd let it fall to about right here. And then I'd start working my jig back. Just a real pause. Real pause. Real pause. Real pause. And I'm working just across the top of this brush pile, trying to get these fish to come out and grab that jig. Is how I'm going to work this brush pile. I'm going to let it fall. I'm going to come up. I'm going to let it fall. And I'm going to come up. And I'm going to go right over top of this limb. I'm going to let it fall. If they don't hit it, I'm coming back up. So that's how I would fish that brush pile. Okay. I typically don't want to throw right on top of those fish. I'd rather throw past those fish and work the jig across them. Okay. That makes sense. Let's see what you. I'm here. Yeah. Heidi said, so for those that watched the first time we went through all these different images, Heidi said, when I saw this picture, all I can think of is stacked vertically. Yeah, crappie will stack vertically. I've said that 1,000,003 times. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to beat it into you guys. Look, Mike said, stacked vertically. Oh, that's funny. That's funny. All right. Let's see here. Did I miss any comments? I don't think so. I think I got them all. All right. Let's go to the Sorry, can you guys hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me, somebody, please. Hello, hello. All right, Heidi hears me. Sound is back. Sorry, guys. Good now. Thank y'all for texting me. I got about 10 text messages. That's great. All right. Hang on. Somewhere in here, I missed a super chat. Where's it at? James, where'd you go? There it is. James, thank you for the super chat. Would love to find a brush pile like that. Lots of laughs. Boy, the fun I would have. Yeah, it would be a lot of fun. That's for sure, James. Thank you for the super chat. So for those that are watching tonight that don't know what a super chat is, super chats are a way for you to donate to the channel, to keep me on the water, making content for you guys, to support the channel. That's the way that you guys can give back to what we're doing at Wired for Crappie. Okay. I appreciate each and every super chat. You guys have no idea how much it helps to have super chats. It really, really does. It helps keep me on the water, keeps all the equipment that I have going, keeps the boat going, keeps oil in the boat, gas in the boat, so on and so forth. So thank you for the super chat, James. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Technical difficulties, stream quiet, technical difficulties. Okay, sound is back. Hello, hello. All right, let's go back to it then. We're going to redo that one. Try that again. How about that? All right, let's try this one more time. One more again. Can y'all still hear me? I think you can. I'm going to say you can. All right. So, to reiterate what I said, 15 foot of water, okay? This brush pile comes up to about 3 feet, right there, 2-3 feet. So this cloud down here under the tree, if you were to fish in this cloud of what looks like fish, you're not going to catch anything. That's bait. This is all bait underneath this tree right here, okay? The one fish on this tree is right there. That is a 2-pound crappie. Okay. He's sitting right over top of that tree, right over top of that bait. He's not hungry, obviously, because he's not in the bait, but he's sitting right there. And if you put something in front of his face, he will eat it. He's sitting up over top of that brush pile for a reason, and he will eat if he's sitting there. So that one fish right there on that tree is what I would stop and fish for. Generally, when you find crappie that are like this by themselves, they're larger crappie. As you can see by how big that return is right there, that is a big crappie, okay? So bait under the tree, crappie, all right? And I know I keep going back and forth, but I want to make sure I get everything for you guys. Let's see. Yes, sounds here. Cool. Cool deal. Vision, vision, vision. Yeah. I think we're fixed now. Let's go to the next one. All right, another live scope image. So this live scope image is a school of crappie right here, okay? There are some fish that are straggled out over here and over here, a few. There is some bait in here. You can see this this kind of ghost-looking return down in here, and you've got it right up in here, and there is some bait that's hanging around right here. This little piece of structure right here on the bottom is what these fish were holding over top of, okay? There's a little piece of structure there, okay, right here. A little piece of structure there. and there's a little piece of structure right here that is a little further over to the left. It's not pointed right at it, but there's a little piece of structure right there. So those fish are right over top of that, suspended about midway down. There is a drop right here, as you can see. This is 30 feet from the boat. This is 30 feet out in front. Transducer's over here. And as you can see, I was sitting out in the deeper water, casting up into shallow water. This was only about 10 feet. These fish were sitting anywhere from 4 feet right here down to about 8. This was, I'm trying to think when this was. This was November. So those fish were sitting in that 5 to 8 foot range off of a bank on a little bit of structure. Okay. Each one of these individual bright spots is a fish. So those Garmin Live Scope images that you see, that you can see the fins of the fish, yeah, every once in a while you've got perfect conditions and you can see the fins, but a lot of times you get returns like this right here, and you're looking and you're going, okay, those are crappie, I think. They're orange blobs. Okay, each one of the bright orange blobs is a fish. Okay, so this stuff down in here, this orange down in here, that's just kind of cloudy, is bait. Fish, crappie will show up just like this on your live scope. All right. So this is a stump. Okay. It's on the edge of it's on a river ledge is what it's on. And there is crappie stacked all over this stump. Okay. Now, these fish down here at the bottom, you can see are real long returns. There's some catfish in there too. So some of this down in here is catfish underneath this stump. They're actually coming. You could watch them. You could see them go under this stump and out of this stump and under this stump and out of this stump. But anyway, these are all crappie on this stump right here. Okay. Yeah, stacked vertically up and down this stump. Again, it's about the top of that structure is about 12 feet. Bottom of that structure, or the top of this ridge, is 17, 18 feet. And fish are stacked all over it. So in East Tennessee, there are a lot of stumps in our lakes. The edge of the river, there's a lot of stumps, especially in lakes like Tellico. Loudon has some. Chickamauga has a lot. You can find a lot of natural structure. And a lot of times I fish natural structure. A lot of times the natural structure gets overlooked. So, by running those creek channels and running those river ledges, you can find some of this stuff. And one thing I will say is the current generally flows. Let me get my current generally goes this direction. Okay, let's see if I can spell with this thing. Current. I'm not very good at drawing letters, obviously, with this thing, but you get the idea. All right, so the current generally goes this way. Okay, and what you can see here is see where this down in here is washed out. Okay, that's from the current coming around and swirling. So the current swirls behind that stump, actually washes that stump out on the back side. And that's why there's so many more fish on the back side of this stump right here, because they're using this stump as a current break. So for those that have fished current before, you know that especially when they're pulling water or when the river's running, current breaks are generally where you're going to find the majority of your fish. The bait fish and the crappie, bass, catfish, bluegill, whatever it is that you're fishing for, are going to flock to current breaks because it's just like, if they're sitting out there in the current, then it's like they're on a treadmill constantly. They're having to keep themselves stationary, and they're having to just flap their tail, swim, to keep themselves where they want to be. They get behind one of these current breaks and one of these eddies, and they can just sit. So fish are lazy. They're going to look for current breaks. Okay. So if you're fishing areas like the Tennessee River, the Hiwassee River, the Clinch, the French Broad on Douglas. If you're fishing those areas and they're running the dams, there's current coming through the lake. Those breakwater areas are absolutely great to find large schools of fish. Okay. All right, here's another image. This is another live scope image. It's another school of crappie right here. There's a little piece of structure right down here on the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that. I hope you can. But there's a little piece of structure right here, and those fish are suspended over top of it. Okay. So as I've said before, crappie will suspend over structure. That's why when I put brush piles out, I always want to put brush piles out to where I have at least half the water column above the brush pile. So if I'm putting structure in 20 feet of water, I never want to go above 10 feet. I always want to stay below 10 feet with my structure. Generally, my structure is 6 to 8 feet. That's what I typically like to put out for the depths that I put them in. And it leaves plenty of room for fish to do just this and set up over top of structure, suspended. Okay. So that's a pretty large school of fish. Again, the bright dots are the crappie. They're 20 feet away from the boat. The majority of the school is. And again, if I'm fishing for these fish, I'm going to cast back here at that 25 to 30 foot mark. I'm going to let my jig fall a couple feet below the fish, and then I'm going to start a slow, steady retrieve that comes north as it comes back to the boat right over top of those fish and try to get them to bite. Now, if I get out here to the edge of this pile and I don't get bit, I will open my bail and let that jig fall down here and then bring it back again to try to get some of these fish to bite. You just have to kind of work your brush pile. You have to be able to see the fish if you're using live scope. You just kind of have to be able to feel those fish out and see where they want that jig at, what depth they want to. If they're very, very active, these fish down here will run plumb up here to get a jig if they're active. If they're not active, you're going to have to put that jig right there in front of that fish to get him to eat it. So, again, this is why live scope has changed crappie fishing, because I can put a bait right here and watch it fall, and I can bring that jig right across the top of these fish. And if this fish right here moves, I'll see him move towards that jig. If this fish right here moves, I'll see him move towards that jig. So you always know what these fish are doing, and you can always keep your bait in the strike zone. That's why live scope, when I talk about live scope, I tell people it allows me to be more efficient because I'm in the strike zone constantly. I can keep my bait in the strike zone constantly. And if that jig gets right here and nothing's coming, I'll reel it in. I'll get it out of there. If I get past these fish and nothing in this pile moves, I'll get my jig back to the boat and cast again. So I can cut my time down and be more efficient. Okay. Let's see what you guys got for me. Let's see if we have any comments. George Hamby, is the schedule out for East Tennessee Crappie Club yet? I would like to join if possible. George, yes, it is. We have a Facebook page. It's East TN Crappie Club. You can go to our Facebook page. The schedule is out. It's on the top of the page in the banner of the page. I can go ahead and tell you where we're fishing at real quick. and when we're fishing there. So September is Tellico. October is Douglas. November is Melton Hill. December is Fort Loudon. January is Chickamauga. February is Cherokee. March is Watts Bar. And the April Classic is to be determined. Okay. So if you go to East TN Crappie Club on Facebook, you can look at the schedule, see all what we're doing and all that good stuff. So it's going to be a good schedule. We're going to have a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of fish caught. So it's going to be really good. Sean Mitchell says, sorry I'm late. Good evening. Good evening, Sean. Jimmy says, tell us why you won't throw on top of pile. So let me explain to you guys why I like to throw past a pile. There are days when, well, let's take Sunday, for instance. Sunday, you could hold a jig in front of a fish and they would not touch it. Okay. They wanted the bait moving. They wanted it swimming. So you had to be swimming the jig. If you swam the jig, every time. All right. So there are some days when they don't want it swimming. They want it sitting still. And you have to get right over top of them and put it right in their face. But for the most part, the reason, Jimmy, I like to cast past the brush pile, let that jig fall, and then a slow, steady retrieve back is because when a minnow swims by a fish, he generally doesn't just fall dead out of the sky and then stop and sit there for a minute. He generally swims in, fish watches him, he swims by, and the fish goes, okay, and he eats him, right? That's my reasoning for it, is I'm trying to think like fish. If I'm down there, if you're sitting on your love seat at the house or couch at the house or recliner at the house, whatever, and you're watching TV and, a sandwich falls dead out of the sky in your lap, you're gonna look up the ceiling and be like, "Where in the crap did that come from?" Me, I'm gonna yell at my kids. I'm gonna be like, "Bradley, get over here!" But you're gonna wonder where'd that come from. But if your wife opens the refrigerator and she brings a piece of pie over and it walks across the living room, lands in your lap, you're gonna eat it. So same thing with a fish. If they see that bait coming horizontally like a minnow swims, and it swims over and it does this and it comes in front of their face, and okay, it just, to me, it seems more natural than something just falling straight from above them and then falling, stop. That's my crazy brain thinking it looks better to the fish. That's the reason I do it. And you guys might think this guy's crazy, or you might think, hey, that makes sense. Don't know. Josh Sanders, he says, I have trouble keeping my jig on live scope all the time. Is that a settings issue? The brush pile will always be in view, and I seem to have the cone in right spot. So Josh, again, another question I hear a lot of the times, okay? The cone for live scope is only 20 degrees, but it's a cone. So it starts at the transducer and it goes out. The further out, the wider the cone. So the cone is 20 degrees at 30 feet or 25 feet. One of the two. 20, between 20 and 30 feet is where you get the 20 degrees. If you're at 5 feet, you don't have 20 degrees. You may have 5 degrees. So if you see your jig and then all of a sudden you lose your jig, bump your live scope pole or a trolling motor. Another reason I like to have a pole and not a trolling motor, I fish with the Fishing Specialties pole. because I can move it 1/8 of an inch. A lot of trolling motors won't move 1/8 of an inch. So if I'm fishing and I see my jig, and then lose my jig, I'll bump that pole, and a lot of times my jig will come back into view. Okay. Another question, Josh, I get asked all the time. Okay. So I would say that's probably what's happening. 9 times out of 10, I have seen that on every unit that anybody has ever mentioned that to me is I lose my jig. Well, that's because it falls just outside the cone, and you lose it. So you got to bump that pole just a little bit to get it back. Okay. So Kip said, well, Chris and Kip said, make sure it's pointing true. Doesn't matter if it's pointing true, guys. If you've got your pole sitting there and you pitch out and you see your jig and then lose it, it's because it jumped outside the cone. Your boat floated one way or the other. Your boat floated to the left. Your boat floated to the right. The wind blew you here, blew you there. The jig, there's current. Okay. Let's say you've got current. You pitch out in front of your live scope. Your jig's falling. It's not falling straight down most of the time because the current gets it. It's falling like this. Okay. With that small of a cone, you're going to lose that jig because it's going to leave the cone. If you see your jig, okay, again, doesn't matter where it's pointing, doesn't matter where the transducer or the pole's pointing. Yes, you need to have your transducer pointed where your handle or pole or arrow or whatever is. Yes. But if you start seeing with your jig in the screen and lose it, it's because your boat moved or your jig moved. You just need to bump your pole until you get it back. So Josh said he had the fishing specialties pole. Again, it's just moving that pole just a little bit. And Josh, you're fishing East Tennessee lakes. There's current. I've a lot of times. Well, I fished on days where you didn't think there was current. Pitch a jig out, and it'll move 10 feet before it gets to the bottom. So if you pitch your jig out, and as it falls, it moves 10 feet, you're now outside of your live scope. You're not going to continue to see it. So keep that in mind. That jig's moving around, your boat's moving around. You got to keep your pole on the jig, okay? All right, that's enough on that one. I'm going to go to our next picture. All right, this is an interesting one. I really, really, really like this one. Does anybody know what you're seeing in this picture? Can anybody tell me what you're seeing? Not fish, not bait. Can anybody tell me what you're seeing in this picture? And I'm going to give y'all just a couple minutes to comment, or a couple seconds. And I'm going to tell you what that is. Can anybody tell me what this right here is? Okay. Right here. See if you guys can get it. Anybody? You guys are a little bit behind me on the feed and on comments, so I'm going to give it a minute for comments. All right, I see a couple comments. We got anchor cable, we got bridge, we got pipe pipe twice. So let me explain to you guys what this is right here. This right here is a cable under a dock. Okay? This is a cable under a dock. So you see this right here? Cable, cable, cable. That is a cable under a dock. So I've said it before, fish will get on cables. This right here is crappie. Right out from this 19, right here, that's crappie. This is also crappie here. Okay, so there's a cable that comes down, anchors into the bottom there. There's a cable that comes down, anchors into the bottom here. There's a cable that comes down, anchors in the bottom there. And then this is cable runs long ways across. All right. This is under a large marina. I think Ashley Coffee is the one who said cable. That's because he lives up north in Douglas and he sees these all the time because that's the only way they can keep marinas in place up there when they drop the lake 60 feet. But crappie will get on these cables, okay? These cables grow algae, which attracts bait fish, which attracts fish. And it's structure, just like anything else in the lake. Anything in the lake that's structure is structure. So there's crappie here, school of crappie stacked vertically again. And then there's a school right here stacked vertically again. So those are two schools of crappie underneath a cable. Okay. And this is a side image. So you've got a mirror image, basically. The left side and the right side is same thing. You've got, again, it's a cone. So your boat is right here in the middle. And there's a cone that comes down from your boat that stretches 25 feet this way and 25 feet this way. So it's all in your cone, if you will. And then this is the bottom of the lake on the right side. This is the bottom of the lake on the left side. And then this is the actual bottom of the lake, the actual mud, dirt. There's a little bit of a drop right here where it's dark, that shadow, that's a drop. So it drops right there, it goes down. And then this is real bright on this side because it's coming up. So this is the shallower side. This is the deeper side. That's why this is so much brighter because it's coming up. And it's harder bottom. This is softer bottom. All right, let's go to this one. So here's another live scope image. This is under a dock. These are the poles for the dock. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there's the poles. This is a pole dock. Those fish are 15 to 20 feet out in front of the boat. And you can see there's a pole here and a pole there and a pole there. So they're in between the second and the third pole on that dock, 15 to 20 feet away. And they're 4 foot, well, 3 feet, because they start right here. So they're 3 feet to the bottom. There's one fish right there on the bottom. So from the bottom all the way to 3 feet, those fish are stacked vertically under this dock. Okay, that's crappie. So there's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That one's off to the side. 12, 13, 14, 15. There's about 15 fish right here. Okay. All right, so here's another. This is side imaging and down imaging on the same screen. There is a brush pile here. If you can tell, this is a very large school of crappie. The brush pile, how big is this thing if it's zoomed out? I hope you guys can see that because I want to draw on this real quick. This right here is all crappie. That's all crappie, every bit of it. Now, the brush pile is, you would think it would be a big brush pile. Wrong one. Sorry. How do I go back? You would think the brush pile would be big to hold that many crappie, right? I'm going to show you the brush pile, and then I'm going to blow this back up so you can actually see it. The brush pile is right there. That's the brush pile. That's it. And it's got that many fish on it. So let me get out of here and blow this back up so you guys can see that brush pile. Now, one thing I want to show you as well. See that brush pile right here? You can see a couple limbs that come off right there and a couple limbs that come off right here. That's the brush pile. That's it. That's all it is. It's right there. It's no more than 2 or 3 feet off the bottom, and it's got that many fish stacked on it. So that's why I said don't ignore the small stuff. Some of that small stuff will hold fish. Now, see this wad of fish right here on side imaging? You know how you know that's fish? Because these shadows right over here. If you see this bottom that's down here, it's very clean. It's the same color. There's no variance in it. Once you get right here, you start seeing little black dots everywhere. Those are shadows. You can see the separation in those shadows, which tells you right away these are good sized fish. It's not a cloud of bait, because if this was a cloud of bait, this would be more solid. These are crappie. Okay. So all on that one little brush pile right there. Can you believe that? Doesn't take much, guys. Does not take much. All right, let's go back here real quick, see if you guys have any other comments. Josh Sanders says, how do you decide what frequency to use on side imaging? I've seen some pics with 455 and some with 800. And then I have the mega option with the birds. How do you decide? I don't run birds. I run Lowrance's, but I generally 98% of the time, Josh, I'm running 455. Okay. Every once in a while, I'll flip over to 800 just because sometimes with 800 you can get a little on the shallower stuff, not on the deeper stuff, because 800 won't penetrate the water as far. It's a higher frequency, but it won't penetrate as deep. So if you're on some shallower stuff, a lot of times 800 will give you a crisper, clearer image, but it has to be shallower stuff, because if let's say you're in 30 feet of water and you flip from 455 to 800, your side imaging, the bottom's going to get darker. Everything's going to darken up. You're not going to be able to see as well because it's not penetrating down deep enough. But yes, that's how I decide 455, 800. I generally run 455 all the time. But I will flip over to 800 from time to time too, just to try to get a little bit clearer picture. Bradley Baker said, was it 1 or 2 cables? It was 1 cable. 1 cable that was continuous, but you saw it on both sides of the side imaging because it was under the cone. And when it's under the boat in the cone, it puts it on both sides of the screen. It's not a true straight down image. Okay. So when somebody says down imaging, it's kind of deceiving, because when you hear down imaging, it's not straight down the size of a quarter right below you. It's not. It's a cone that comes down from your boat like that, and it shoots at an angle, and then everything in that circle of that cone is then portrayed on your screen. So it's kind of deceiving when you hear down image, because it's more of a cone image. Think of it like this. Think of a traffic cone, okay? And it's larger than that. You're going to get a larger area than a traffic cone. But think of a traffic cone. If your transducer, if the top of the traffic cone was sitting on the bottom of your transducer, okay? So here's your transducer and here's your traffic cone. If it was to look down through the top of that traffic cone, as it went down, it's going to get wider as it goes down. And then when it gets to the bottom, there's a circle down at the bottom. Everything in that circle is what you're seeing on your down image. Okay. So I don't have anything here that I can, anything in that shape, I don't think. But anyway, think of it like that. A traffic cone that comes down, a circle, and everything in there is what you're seeing. Okay. Mike said, where I fish, there is trees and stumps everywhere. Trouble is finding which tree or stump is holding fish. I've seen that a lot, Mike, especially our lakes where there's an overabundance of brush or overabundance of structure. You will not find fish on everything. You'll have to move, constantly move until you find the one that has fish, and it's different every day, right, Mike? I mean, I'm sure with you guys, there's probably trees that you can go to and there's always fish on, and then there's trees where it's hit or miss, and every day changes, and you just got to move till you find where the fish are at. All right, let's go back here to our next photo. I think we got another one. Yeah. So for you guys now this photo did not come out of my boat, okay? For those of you that follow the channel, you know I do not have standard sonar on my boat. I deleted standard sonar years ago, and I don't even run standard sonar anymore. But for the guys that do like standard sonar, I wanted to talk about standard sonar a little bit. So I put this picture in there. Okay. What you're seeing here on the right is a down image, and this down image is in 800. Okay. It's 800 kilohertz. Obviously it's a tree. It is on a drop. Okay. You can see the drop from 15 feet down to 25 feet pretty quickly. It's a pretty steep drop. And this tree, I don't know where this tree was at or where this was taken, but my gosh, I'd love to fish it because it sets up perfect. I mean, it's on a drop. It comes way up to 3 feet. It's 25 feet to 3 feet. And I love stuff like that. And anyway, so it's very sparse. It's not large. It's a good piece of structure. So on the right, obviously you can see down imaging. You can see the individual fish. The individual fish are all around this tree right here. There's probably 20 or 25 crappie that are on that tree stacked right here. And then over here on your 2D sonar, you can see this is definitely showing up as a fish. You can see the air bladder right there, that little bit of orange, okay? But you've got to be able to read. If you're reading standard sonar, you don't have down imaging or side imaging, you've got to be able to read what most people call the clutter and tell what's fish and what's not. So when you see something of this nature, okay, again, knowing that crappie stack vertically, this should be a huge red flag to stop and fish this, because you see there's a fish, 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 there's a fish. All these little arches in here, anything that gives this little arch, all the way down here, arch, 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 all these little arches with this yellow in there tell you that's fish. Okay. Structure on 2D sonar is going to show up like this right here, just kind of a pencil image. And the reason that's going to be, your wood is going to show up that way. Let me say that. Your sparse wood, your stakes, your small trees like this are going to show up this way. And the reason is because they're waterlogged. Once this tree lays in this lake for long enough, it waterlogs and you don't get a hard return off of it. Okay. So you get a soft return. So there's your soft return of that tree. And then there's your fish stacked on it. A lot of people are going to look at this and go, well, I see fish, but what's this thing? It's a tree. It's just a waterlogged tree that's been there a long time, and it's throwing a soft return. Okay. I think, yep, that's it on the photos, guys. That's all I got for you tonight. I hope that helps. I hope it helps you guys with everything that is imaging, standard sonar. Standard sonar is just, it's kind of like the flasher. It's kind of getting to where it's really not needed anymore. I know a lot of guys that still run it. It's still great technology, for what it is, and you can still identify and find fish with it. So, if that's what you have, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It works just fine. But it is becoming more and more outdated as the years go by. So let's see here. Look at these comments. Eddie Gregg says that cone size is based on water depth, right? Yes, that is correct. Your cone size of the area that you're looking at below your boat with your cone on your down imaging, or standard sonar is the same way, or down imaging, side imaging, that cone that comes straight down, the size of that cone does shrink and get larger with depth. So if you're looking at 100 feet of water, the cone touching the bottom is going to be a lot wider than if you're looking in 10 feet. Okay. Josh Sanders. Josh, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it, buddy, very much. Thank you. You're welcome for the info. Always helpful. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. I'm glad it helps. That's what I'm here for. I hope you guys learn something. I hope I can help. Mike is asking about the ACC tournament. Guys, I got good news, bad news. I am looking forward to the ACC tournament. It's going to be a good tournament if they have it on the 14th. But if they have it on the 14th, I won't be able to attend. I have prior engagement that week, and I won't be able to attend that tournament. So I'm very disappointed in myself. I'm upset with myself. But I have a prior engagement, and I've got 15 people depending on me. So I can't get out of it. I'm not looking forward to missing. But if they have to have it on the 14th and that's the day they pick and decide to do it on, then I'll just have to catch them next year. I don't know what else to tell them. William, happy birthday Saturday. Thanks for all the info, especially live scope right now, since we are Humminbird folks looking to buy a live scope. Everything is so helpful. Thanks. I love your videos, Dan and Karen H. Thank you very much, Dan. Thank you, Miss Karen. I appreciate you guys very much. I appreciate each and every one of you guys that watches. I appreciate all the subscribers and the viewers. But thank you for the super chat. And yeah, happy birthday, right? So if you don't know, my birthday is coming up. My birthday is Saturday, September the 12th. I'm not telling you how old I will be, but it is going to be my birthday. So we're actually going to be camping this weekend. The actual wife and kids, the Wired in This House fam, are going to be camping this Saturday and Sunday and Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I will be doing a live from the lake on my birthday. So it's going to be a surprise dropped live. We're going to go fishing. You guys can watch me fish. You can ask questions. I'll have somebody in the boat that'll be relaying questions to me. I'll be fishing, hopefully catching. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So it's going to be kind of the prelude to our tournament that we got coming up on the 26th. So on the 26th of this month, myself, Asleep at the Reel, Chris, and Fish and Ken with Hook City TV will all be live on a stream together at one time, fishing a tournament. Most fish over 10 inches wins, 2 hours long. Going to be fun. We're going to drop a date and a time. Well, with the date's the 26th of September, but we'll drop a time for that here in the next week or so. Got to get with everybody and get a time. Different time zones is kind of tripping us up right now, so we got to figure that out. But it's going to be a prelude to that for my birthday. So I want to. My wife asked me what I want to do for my birthday. I said I want to spend some time with my family, my Wired fam. So we're going to do it. We're going to spend some time. I appreciate all the birthday wishes that I'm seeing over here right now. Don't forget to come back Saturday and tell me happy birthday. So we're going to be doing it up right. I may even have me a little cake out there, and we'll all sing happy birthday, get me a little cupcake, put a candle on it, and blow that sucker out. Maybe I'll blow it out with a crappie tail. Who knows? Maybe a crappie blow it out for me. But anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. You guys can actually go fishing with me live. You can watch me catch fish, and we'll see what old Matty Matt's all about. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're running around the lake a little bit, and I hope you guys will join me. Feel free to bring birthday presents if you want to bring birthday presents. But you'll have to find me on the lake. But anyway, no, it's going to be fun. So I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody. And I got off on that tangent because of Mr. William. So, William, I appreciate you for the super chat. Some very impressive images tonight with great education on what we're seeing in them. Appreciate your dedication and all you do for the Wired fam. God bless. God bless you, Ashley. I appreciate it, buddy. I wouldn't have it any other way. I'll tell you what, I think Josh, hang on just a second. Josh Sanders and Ashley Coffey, are you two still on here? I think you guys are both still on here. Let me know if you two are still on here, please. Heidi says, thank you for the information or the informative live. Always learn something. Have a blessed week. Have a great birthday. Thank you, Heidi. I appreciate it. Jimmy says, hope the weather is good this weekend camping. Yeah, I hope so too. I don't want to be out there in nasty weather. I guess I need to look at the weather. I hadn't looked at it yet. That would be a bummer. James said, thank you for all the great info tonight. You're welcome, James. All right. So, Josh, Ashley, hang on just a minute. We're getting a phone call. Hey, hello. Yes. Yes, I am. Oh, well, you want to sing it? Hang on. All right, go ahead. Hey, guys, everybody say hi to Chris.
All right, so hey, I was behind on the deal for some odd reason. I don't know why, but we just got the birthday things up here. I called saying happy birthday to you on the wire.
Oh, yes. Sing it up. Let's hear it.
Happy birthday to you. Happy Crappie nibble birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Matty. Happy birthday to you. All right, brother. Happy birthday.
Thanks, man. All right, we'll see you.
I'm going to shut up now.
All right, bye. That's funny. Hey, that's why I do it, guys. I mean, I've met so many good people through doing this. It is incredible how many good people I've met. It is a blessing to have so many good people be a part of my life. And I appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. And please come back for the live on my birthday, please. It's going to be a lot of fun. It'll be Saturday evening. I'm hoping to do it 5 to 7. 5 to 7 Saturday evening. So, yeah, come back, please. We'd be more than happy to have you there. I'd be more than happy to have you there. And I'll be answering questions while I'm fishing too. It's not just going to be me standing there fishing, not talking to you guys. I'll be talking to you. So I'm going to have somebody in the boat that'll be telling me what you guys are commenting, and we'll be talking to you. So, Sarge better not take up singing. Anyway, all right. So Josh is here. Ashley's here. Guys, I'll tell y'all what I'll do for you. Let me clear my throat. I'll tell you what I'll do for you guys. I will pay your way to the tournament on September the 19th at Tellico, okay? Clear Creek Ramp. If you two will hook up and come fish that tournament together, I will pay your entry fee for that tournament. It's $35 a boat. Josh, you're already a member, so there's no issue there. You don't have to be a member to fish the tournament, but it's a higher entry fee if you're not a member. So anyway, Josh, you're a member. Ashley, if you will hook up with Josh and you guys will come fish the tournament, I'll front that bill, okay? I want you guys to have a good time and enjoy it. Josh just said he can't get Ashley to commit. So, Ashley, you got to commit. Get outside your box, Ashley. You got to get outside your box, buddy. If you're going to learn, you got to get outside your box. So, you can meet up with Josh. You can fish out of Josh's boat, I'm sure, or you can bring your boat. You guys can figure all that crap out. But please come. Just come experience it. I would love for you guys to be able to come back here the week after on the live and just tell everybody that I'm not full of crap, that it really is a great time. It really is a lot of fun. And I'm getting Ashley in trouble with his wife. The wife is staring at me right now. Clear Creek Boat Ramp on the 19th, guys. Registration from 6:30 a.m. to 7 a.m. Got to be registered by 7 a.m. Okay. Seriously, please come. Ashley, if your wife would just pay us, just pamper me one time, just one. That's all I'm asking. Maybe she won't. Maybe she will. Don't know. But anyway, I'll front that bill if you guys show up, okay? Promise you. And I'll be at the registration table registering everybody. So it's not like you won't know anybody. You just walk up and say, hey, Matt, what's up? We're here. Okay. All right. So there's that. All right. So don't forget tomorrow, new videos dropping. Who, what, where, when, why, how. Dropping brush. Building, dropping, whole nines. Going to be a good video, I think. I think you guys will enjoy it. It's a lot of teaching, which you guys know I like to do. So I think you'll enjoy that. I think you guys like the teaching, and I enjoyed doing it. So should be a good video. I think you guys will enjoy it. I hope you do. Drops tomorrow evening, so make sure you catch that. And I appreciate you guys for watching. We're going to go ahead and cut it. I appreciate each and every one of you again for being here. And I have Josh, sorry, I got to stop. Josh said I have headphones on, so my wife can't hear anything right now. That's pretty good. Good night. Good night, all. God bless. Joseph, you too. God bless. So anyway, one more question. Hey, Matt, I'm not having any luck catching big fish right now. Any suggestions? Move. If you're not catching them, if they're not biting, move. If you see fish, they won't hit, move. If you are catching little fish, move. You can't catch big fish if you're catching little fish. Okay, keep moving. Eventually, you'll find a larger class of fish. In the summer, fish school back up. When they school up in age groups a lot of times. A lot of times, if you find the small fish, you're going to stay on small fish. If you find large fish, you're going to stay on large fish. If you find 12 inchers, you're going to stay on 12 inchers. So move until you find the age class of fish that you're looking for. Don't stay there and catch small fish. Keep moving. Okay, that would be my suggestion, Slab Buster. So, anyway, all right, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. I thank you all. Don't forget, 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon, we will do the live for my birthday. Be my birthday live. We're going fishing. So 5 p.m. Saturday, September the 12th. I'll post a video up so you guys, or a live feed so you guys can hit that. And I'll talk to you guys Saturday. Okay. So again, God bless, and we'll talk to you guys later.